Welcome to Election 2014. Our guest today is Stephen Feldman. Stephen Feldman is a professor at John Marshall Law School, a hearing officer at the Secretary of State's office, and he practices law. Welcome, Mr. Feldman.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here today.
Okay, I see that you're a candidate for judge in the full circuit of Cook County. What does that mean?
That means I'm running countywide. I am seeking the Reyes vacancy, which is a countywide position. That means anyone in Cook County can vote for me. March 18th is election day. I'm running as a Democratic candidate for Judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County in the Democratic primary on March 18th. If you'd like to participate in the election, you go to your polling place, you ask for a Democratic ballot, and then you punch 157.
All right. Well, tell us, the audience, a little bit about yourself, where you went to school, where you grew up, and et cetera.
Sure. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I attended Francis Parker High School, which is in Lincoln Park, Clark and Webster. Then I attended Ohio State University for undergrad. Excuse me. After college, I came home. I went to the John Marshall Law School, graduated in 2001. After law school, my first job was with the City of Chicago Department of Law, where I was a prosecutor. My primary assignment was in traffic court, where I had the opportunity to prosecute hundreds of bench trials. After leaving the city, I went to the Secretary of State's office, where I served in the Securities Department, the Secretary of State's office, where I was a prosecutor there as well. And then in 2003, I opened up my own law practice, which I called the Law Offices of Stephen J. Feldman. It's about as creative as I could get. It's a general practice with an emphasis on criminal defense and DUI defense. And I've been doing that for about 10 years, but I've handled all kinds of cases in the past 10 years, you know, civil cases, criminal cases, transactional cases, leasing matters. I've handled all kinds. I've tried jury trials and bench trials in both criminal and civil court. I've also engaged in motion practice in both criminal and civil court.
Okay, well then tell us about your work at John Marshall.
Sure. I am also an adjunct professor at the John Marshall Law School, where I teach trial advocacy. Basically, I teach Perry Mason 101 is what my class is. My job is to instruct law students on basic trial practice. I instruct them on how to develop a case. We have instruction on jury selection, how to examine witnesses, both direct examination, cross-examinations. I also teach them how to conduct examination on expert witnesses and, excuse me, give closing arguments.
Wow, so you have a well-rounded career here. So tell us why you want to be a judge then.
It's my lifelong goal. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I feel like now I'm finally ready to take the next step based upon my body of work for the past 12 years as a lawyer, as a hearing officer, as well as a adjunct professor at John Marshall. I feel like I'm ready to take that step and serve in an admirable and honorable way in this position.
Admirable and honorable, yes. Well, that's what we like to hear in our public servants.
Thank you. Well, my goal is not to be a judge. My goal is to become an excellent judge. You know, I want to be the kind of judge that lawyers want to appear in front of. I want to be the kind of judge that lawyers want to try a case in front of them. You know, becoming a judge is not the goal. Becoming an excellent judge, that's my goal.
This is a humorous question. Do you want your own TV show?
I'm not opposed to it.
Oh, okay.
Would you watch it?
Of course. Everybody actually likes law for some reason or other. You mentioned Perry Mason, and while we were talking, and we were also talking about Law and Order, Criminal Minds, so we tend to like to see justice take place. And so can you tell us what put the fire in your belly in that regard?
Sure. As far as justice taking place, you know, I have a passion for the law. I love the analytical thinking that's required, and I love being a lawyer. I love representing people and helping people solve their problems and going into court and saying, I represent, you know, this person, and delivering them a satisfactory result. I take great pride in doing that. And being a lawyer is one of the few professions where you can do that for people.
Oh, okay. Can you elaborate on serving in the Secretary of State's office?
Certainly. I've been a part-time hearing officer in the Secretary of State's office for the past 10 years, where I've had the opportunity to preside over more than 1,000 contested cases. The cases that I preside over involve driver's license reinstatements. When a person loses their driving privileges because they've been convicted for DUI, they have the right to try to get their driving privileges back. And they appear and have a formal hearing in front of a hearing officer like me, and they have a lawyer, and the secretary has a lawyer as well, and it's my job to decide whether or not this person should get their driving privileges back. And every decision I make is made with great care and great thought. I always, at the end of the decision, I follow the law, and every decision I make is based upon the law and the facts that are presented to me at the hearing. I give everybody a full and complete opportunity to be heard, and I treat everybody with dignity and respect. And as a judge, that's the same manner in which I will conduct myself. So if you're ever in my courtroom, you know you're going to get a fair shake.
All right. Well, that's something for us to know, so that we're willing to go and punch 157.
157.
On March when?
March 18th. My new favorite number, 157.
No, we're not.
I might go play it later tonight.
I was just about to say. And so, do you have what's your private life like?
Well, I come from a big family. I have 2 brothers, lots of cousins. I'm not married right now. I have a girlfriend. I spend a lot of time with her, and I have a large group of friends. I spend a lot of time with them. I'm at the gym all the time. If I'm not working, I'm working out.
Oh, okay.
I play lots of racquetball, which I guess that might be the old guy's game. So maybe I'm an old guy now since I'm a racquetball player. I'm a big sports fan too.
Okay.
I've got season tickets for the Chicago Bears, and I'm out there when the weather's like this, as it is tonight. I'm out there.
Okay, well then just look at the camera and promote yourself and get us to vote for you.
Okay. Well, like I said, my name is Steve Feldman. I've been a practicing attorney for the past 12 years. I'm a candidate for judge of the Circuit Court of Cook County. That means I'm running full circuit. Go big or go home. Cook County is a very big place. It's equivalent. There are 5.2 million people that live in Cook County, which makes it larger than 29 U.S. states. And anybody that lives in Cook County can participate in my election. In order to do so, you need to go to your polling place on March 18th, ask for a Democratic ballot, and then punch 157. What I would like to add, if you're not available March 18th, you can vote early. Between March 3rd and March 15th, early voting is available for anybody who lives in Cook County. If you live in the city of Chicago, you go to the Chicago Board of Elections, and on their website it has information for early voting. It also tells you what polling place you should go to. Also, if you live in the suburbs, you go to the Cook County Board of Elections website, and that has information on where you should go for what your polling place would be, depending on what suburb you live on. But whether you live in the city or whether you live in the suburbs, you punch 157.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
This concludes this segment of Election 2014, where our guest was Stephen Feldman, and he's given you a great incentive to vote for him. So let's go out and vote on March 18th and punch 157. Thank you.
Thanks, Velma.
Thank you for coming.